Good evening, viewers. Welcome to the Thursday's edition of the Regional News. I'm Joel Vogt. We begin with news from the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Public Utilities Minister Marvin Gonzalez said on Thursday that the very survival of majority state-owned telecommunications services of Trinidad and Tobago, TSTT, depends on the company taking difficult decisions, including retrenching 468 of its employees. Gonzalez was responding to the decision by TSTT to dismiss 468 employees, of which 403 are ununionized workers who are entitled to receive payment. The industrial court on Tuesday night, in effect, halted TSTT's execution of retrenchment notices on the 376 employees represented by the Communications Workers Union, CWU. TSTT had sent retrenchment notices to 44% of its workforce before the start of the restructuring exercise. If the exercise is fully implemented, the company's actual headcount would decline from 1,057 employees before the restructuring to 589 after the process. Commenting on the matter, Gonzalez pointed out that if TSTT does not take difficult decisions now, it will not be able to continue in business. In Antigua and Barbuda, Prime Minister of Antigua, Gaston Brown, has broken his silence on the alleged abduction of Indian businessman Mehul Chusky. Brown said that his authorities by no means facilitated Chusky's disappearance. The PM said that it is true that he might have acknowledged publicly that the desire would have been for Chusky to be repatriated onto India from Dominica. However, that was on the ideas that he skipped the island. At the moment, Brown had no data or the slightest hypothesis that Chusky could have been kidnapped. The opposition in Dominica and Antigua have each known as the Brown and Roosevelt skirret to return clear concerning the alleged kidnapping of Chusky, who mysteriously disappeared from the Twin Island nation on March 23 and ended up in Dominica. Chusky was charged for unlawful entry into Dominica. However, that case was dropped presumably after a 19-page report from lawmen in Antigua and Barbuda. And finally, Hurricane Agatha left at least 11 people dead and 33 missing in the southern Mexico state of VOGT, where it set off flooding and landslides, Government Alejandro Muret said on Wednesday. More than 40,000 people in the state have been affected, primarily along the coast and in the mountains just beyond, Murat said. Agatha was the strongest hurricane since records have been kept to come ashore in May in the eastern Pacific. It made landfall on Monday afternoon on the populated stretch of small beach towns and fishing villages as a strong Category 2 hurricane with maximum sustained winds, but it quickly lost power moving inland over the mountainous interior. Even as Oaxaca continued to search for the missing and clean up down the trees and flooded homes, Mexican officials were watching another large area of thunderstorms along the Caribbean coast of Yucatan Peninsula that forecasters said could become a tropical storm later this week. Defense and Secretary Luis Sandoval were headed to Oaxaca to oversee recovery operations. That has concluded the Thursday's regional news. I'm Joel Vogt. Back to you, Tamiko.